like that. Woo! What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle.
And y'all already know who it is. It's your co-host that does it the most, Rick Masters at Rick Masters 23 or Mr. Lee on Instagram, Rick Masters everywhere else on social media platforms. Hey man, y'all know what time it is. The Pull Up Basketball Podcast shirts. Get your shirts, people. BJ Matthews, Rick Masters. You see us on the shirt. Hey, red, black, white tanks, hoodies. Man, we got it all for you, man. We even got sweaters. We know it's about to get cold. So go ahead and get your orders in. Hit up me or B Jizzle on the DMs. CASHAPP B Jizzle, $ BJ Matthews, man. Y'all see it down there on the ticker. BJ, let's go.
My man says all social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you know what I'm saying, as well as the ticker. You guys want to continue to show our love to the Pull Up Basketball Podcast right there. You can see in the Cash App, $ BJ Matthews, you know what I'm saying. Me and Rick do a lot of work for y'all, so we want to make sure that we're going to keep giving y'all quality product. And as well as we almost at 4,000 watch hours. We're like 97 hours below. So once we hit that in the next week or so, we're going to start, open up the memberships for people to actually sign up for a monthly basis. And definitely appreciate all the love that y'all give us, man. But Rick, oh man, we are in the hottest story right now going on in the NBA with this whole Ime Udoka Boston Celtics situation. I see you shaking your head because it don't make no sense. I'm right there with you. I had spoken about this a little bit yesterday, about an hour and a half. And this is a story that's not going to go away anytime soon. It's going to be lingering over people's heads. It's going to be a big thing going into next week because we got training camp. But there's a few details, that I didn't really touch on as far as, as deep. Ime Udoka has been, suspended for the year. People saw that on Thursday afternoon, Thursday morning, whatever, that he's been suspended for the entire season. And of course, when it came out first, I was like, it wasn't a big deal. But when they started saying, it's possible suspension for a year, that's like, all right, man, this is crazy. This is going to hurt the Celtics. So your initial reaction, let's start with your initial reaction when you first heard about it. What did you think about the story?
Very first initial reaction, B Jizzle, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think too much of it. Honestly, I mean, the first thing I thought was, with fraternization, it happens all the time, big levels, small levels. I've seen it in my different career choices, man. I've heard about it from different people, and I'm just thinking, and not to bring up Kobe's past, but if it didn't sound criminal, because the first thing they said was, it was pretty much consensual. So that's how they closed it out. So as soon as I heard consensual, I kind of tuned it out. I kind of let it go personally, but then it kept, I see, Stephen A, I see Skip and Shannon. I see, I see Miss Andrews. I see Perkins. I see all these different people talking on these different networks. Then I start seeing little YouTube channels. Then I start tuning in. Then, of course, you hit me up. And I'm just like, okay, something serious must have happened. You know what I mean? It got to be deeper than just consensual. Because as soon as I heard consensual, I kind of checked out. But then, as I'm researching, I'm watching videos, I'm reading articles, man. And then, of course, the most precious thing that we have as far as facts to go, when Boston Celtics press conference with Wick Grossbeck and Brad Stevens at their press conference, pretty much this has been going on since the midsummer. So, kind of like what Wick said, is like, they sent out an investigation team. They got real thorough with it. Him and Brad Stevens. They were basically dealing with this since the season has been going on. So even during the finals this year, and the Celtics been playing, they've been dealing with this. And it actually just closed out, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday sometime this week. They actually officially closed the case out, but they ended it. And let's make this clear. Everybody that's watching, because I know y'all see a lot like I did, they cleared it as consensual. All this sexual harassment, all this, he trying to talk to them, unwanted advances. It got closed. Here are the facts. It got closed as consensual adults. So let's stay on topic tonight, man. We, of course, we're going to have opinions and our thoughts on it, of course. But I just want to make sure that, if anybody jump up in here with any kind of nonsense, we got the facts. So my first initial thoughts, B Jizzle, didn't think too much of it till I started seeing that snowball effect happen. So what you think, B Jizzle?
I think it's, 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 I think it's Yeah. When I first heard the story, bro, I didn't really think much of it as well. I was like, I mean, of course, it was a sticky situation. Shout out to Young Africa Pull Up. Um, Shout out to East Oakland. What's good? I didn't really think as it was going to be a legal issue. I thought there was going to be more internal, especially when I first heard it wasn't an NBA issue. It was a situation with the Boston Celtics. So that's who leaked this story out, which is why I'm gonna get to them in a minute. While that was a mistake, but I thought, Ime Udoka, championship coach. They obviously have a great rapport, great relationship with him. So it's like I'm thinking, okay, well, this is no way that he's gonna be out for the whole season. There's no way, because that would be shooting themselves in their own foot, because you're getting rid of a championship level coach. So when I saw a year suspension, I'm like, what in the world? Now, people had an initial reaction saying this could be a racial thing, or it could be something where, the coach is black and this, that, and the other. But then, you start seeing more details coming out. And it's like, okay, you start thinking a little bit, your thoughts settle in, your emotions settle in. But initially, when I first heard it, I'm like, it was consensual, like you said, and it wasn't something that was forced. And it's like, okay, what's the problem? It's the fact that because he got with a person who was part of the Boston Celtics staff, or he cheated on year long. Like, what's the real issue? And then the next day, which was on Friday, it became something as now, well, he made unwanted advances. I'm like, hold on. What happened to the consensual part? You talking about unwanted advances. How do you go from consensual to unwanted? Seems a little bit fishy. So that is when I really started looking deep and diving in. Because I mean, I wasn't going to really even talk about this much, because it's like this was something that was, like you said, wasn't a big deal. Like we've seen this happen in basketball circles where players will or people get into relationships, and some of them will be secret advances as well. So I was like, what's the big deal? My only issue was what Stephen A said. This should have been a private issue. This shouldn't have been something that was out there for the public to see. And that's why I blame Boston, because you're up here sitting here with egg on your face saying that, you know, you don't know what's going on and you did this month-long investigation. This wasn't leaked out by the NBA. This is leaked out by the Boston Celtics. So who was the person that actually leaked it out? We're going to get that into a minute. But, bro, what did you think about this press conference, man? What did you think, in your opinion, what did you see in the press conference when we're talking about Brad Stevens and this guy named Wick Grosbeck? He's the CEO of the team. Brad Stevens is the general manager. What did you see from this press conference that they had about 30 minutes on Friday?
I mean, honestly, man, what I honestly felt and saw, it was just crowd control. It was just as simple as that. I mean, they're the one of the top guys of the organization. What up, Dallas Sports? Salute. They're one of the top guys of the organization. I believe what Stevens used to be the coach of the Celtics.
Yep.
And so I mean,
Yep.
they're two basically big figures of that team, right? These are names you probably would know or should know if you watch the NBA. So I think they were kind of using them, the organization itself, as kind of like crowd control, man. Like, hey, you got to get out there and say something now, just because
Mm-hmm.
the information's out there. We have to say something. And the reason why I present it like that is because when I was listening to Wick, Wick started out literally. If you guys watch the ESPN like link itself and go watch it, he literally starts out by saying, like, hey, if y'all can read these notes that I have, y'all see it's pretty crisp. It's not much on here. Like, I can't really share too much legally. Boom, 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 boom. So right out the gate, he's letting you know, I'm not about to talk too much. This is just to show my face. This is just to basically show, like, hey, we know y'all heard about it. This is how much we can share. This is how much is going on within the organization with this situation. And I just felt like it just really, the vibe was, we need to say something now that it is leaked out there. So we just have to get out there and say something. I wouldn't even say that they're trying to get ahead of it, because people took it a million miles per hour. Like I said, other social media platforms, ESPN, all that good stuff, they're already on top of it. They questioning things. So I just felt like they, in a sense, they were forced to say something. Whether it was a higher up, whether it was Wick himself, like talking to Stevens, like, hey, man, we got to get out there and say something, because now we can't just, now that this information is out there, we just can't come out here and say, Udoka's not going to be coaching for a year and just leave it at that, which they probably could have if it
Mm-hmm.
never got leaked out. But now that it's leaked out, they're like, man, we got to say something. So let's just play it safe. Let's do a little bit of crowd control. and let's just, stick to the script. Because he said it himself. I'm using his own words. He was like, usually I get out here, I like to speak freely. I like to speak my mind. But because of the situation, there's legal matters. So I'm going to stick to this piece of paper. And if y'all could read it, you'll see it's not much on here. So I think it was a crowd control thing, man. What you think, B Jizzle?
Yeah, bro, good points. I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit of a clip, about minute, 30 seconds of the press conference. I want y'all to listen to what Brad Stevens, the GM, and Wick Grossbeck, the CEO of the Boston Celtics, had to say. So here we go.
Salute, Alex.
Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Continue to hit that like button as well.
Be speaking to you all. It's a time of concern and reflection and action. We have strong values at the Celtics, and we are doing our very best to uphold them here. As you know, Ime Udoka has been suspended for the upcoming season for breaking team rules. For privacy reasons,
Yo, B Jizzle, I don't know if you froze, but I can't hear you. Can't hear anything. Hold on real quick. Our people with the Pull Up Podcast. B Jizzle, can you hear me? Let me see. B Jizzle was just playing a clip. Everybody who's still in here, B Jizzle was trying to play a clip.
Hey, sorry about that. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, man. So I'm gonna start this over again, man. Appreciate y'all.
Hello, everybody. Obviously, a difficult time to be speaking to you all. It's a time of concern and reflection and action. We have strong values at the Celtics, and we are doing our very best to uphold them here. As you know, Ime Udoka has been suspended for the upcoming season for breaking team rules. For privacy reasons, I won't be able to offer many additional facts or circumstances around what occurred and why the suspension is in place. I really have to leave you with the wording of our statement, which was admittedly fairly crisp. You might notice I have notes here. I don't think I've ever had notes at a press conference. I enjoy speaking ad lib extemporaneously and letting things share freely. But in this case, I really have to refer to the notes and stay within the bounds. And I have to break it to you that if you had the notes in front of you, you wouldn't learn all that much. So it's sort of that type of press conference. I'm sorry for that. It's privacy reasons for the people involved is the concern. I can say a few things, and I have a few bullet points to add, and then Brad will have some words. I can say that as soon as we learned there was a potential situation, we immediately brought in a respected law firm to conduct a thorough investigation and impartial investigation. And they took some time, and we actually concluded that investigation with a report 2 days ago.
Okay, so that was the owner of the Boston Celtics, or the CEO of the Boston Celtics, Mr. Wick Grossbeck. He is the CEO of the Boston Celtics on the left. Brad Stevens is on the right. I did not, put him on the screen for him to speak, but those are the initial thoughts going into Friday's press conference. Now, he said a few things. First thing he said, he can't disclose many details. They can't disclose this many things as far as, what's happened with this investigation. And I was at a point where I was just like, well, I'm at a point now where I think the public deserves to know what's going on because you already leaked this information out there, Boston Celtics. So don't sit up here. You can't take the cap off the toothpaste and then open it and then put it back on. You already opened the can of worms. Just go ahead and finish your job. Training camp starts next week. Let's go ahead and, get this out the way. It is what it is. But listening on to that 29, 30-minute press conference, I listened to everything on the press conference. He was basically just trying to deflect, Brad Stevens was the more who was more open with, you know, his situation and what's going on with the Boston Celtics. Now, he said that this was a ongoing investigation. So this isn't something that just happened that was new. That you've been knowing this over the summertime, and they just finished this up 2 days ago. So again, that goes to show that they leaked out the information because none of this had to be into the public unless you're the one that dealt with it. Again, this is not an NBA issue. This is a Boston Celtics issue. So you leaked out the information. Why did you do that? Who did that? What specific person did that? So I think Grosbeck was trying to save face. I was thinking that he thought that, you know, the year-long suspension was necessary. Now, initially at first, I was like, that's a little bit too harsh. I think most people did. But now what I think the facts are, what I think happened, I think that's why they did the year suspension. But I think, in my opinion, they should have either fired this dude and let him find a job somewhere else, or if you're going to keep him, just keep him and fine him or do something of that nature. But the fact that you did this with a person I think was very powerful in the organization is why they're being held hostage. Now, I'm gonna say one more thing. I'm gonna let you give it back to you, Rick. I think Brad Stevens, he has a very good relationship with Ime Udoka. I think they all like him. I think they all really like him. They really think he's a, you know, man of, you know, a man of charm, you know what I'm saying? A lot of resilience, a lot of, you know, a fun person to be around. Leader of men. You saw what he did with that team with the Boston Celtics. But I think they knew that he messed up and they can't really save him. That's why the two were in the press conference not saying much. But I think Brad Stevens said as much as he could. He spoke about, you know, how, you know, the Ime Udoka situation is a sad situation. It's messed up. People were dragged in unfairly. But he showed a lot more empathy than I think what Grosbeck did. I think he showed a lot more empathy in his approach. But let me bring it back to you, bro. I'm gonna give you more indication, but I'm gonna let you, you know, carry on, bro.
Well, I'm gonna start off by saying that Udoka has definitely earned that position as head coach. I mean, 21 years in the NBA is a total itself. I mean, I don't know if most people realize. I think he was undrafted, right? That was his start.
Mm-hmm.
He was undrafted. You know, it wasn't like a superstar or nothing. So of course, he just probably played his role. He was assistant coach for different teams, but where he was pretty much, you know, his stardom was as an assistant coach with the San Antonio Spurs under the great Popovich. And then, you know, after that, you know, years go down and then he becomes the head coach of the Celtics. And what a lot of people don't realize is that this was his first year with the Celtics and he took them to the finals. So when you know, and I can be here all night and break stuff down, but I just wanted to give you a quick little synopsis of how hard Udoka had to get to that point. And then even on his first year, that hard work paid off by taking the Boston Celtics to the finals. And ultimately, in some people's mind, if some of the players got their head out their butt, probably could have had a better challenge and won. So he could have been a finals coach champion his first year after those 21 years of accumulated time in the NBA of hard work, man, starting as an undrafted player all the way up to being a head coach in his first year going to the finals. So I want to say that just to kind of give, you know, his flowers while he's here, even though he put himself in a bad position, because he did put himself in a bad position. But at the same time, I don't want to negate or overlook the hard work that the man took to get to the position that he got to. So, right. You know, to kind of freestyle it here, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, he put himself in that position. Outside of, you know, all the noise as far as, you know, who he's dating, you know, Vivica A. Fox, and I heard stuff on social media and about, you know, with Stephen A. Smith and different social media platform people, ESPN, all these correspondents are saying at the end of the day, man, this man has done nothing different than what's been doing since the beginning of man. All right. The only difference is that he messed with the wrong man. That's the problem. Right. Because, and I'm gonna give y'all a little quick story here. When I was in the military, I got into an argument with one of my higher ups. Now I was a private at the time, and so at the time, you know, I understand traditions, I understand all that. You know, I'm fresh out of basic training, all that good stuff at my first duty station, and me and this higher up got into it, and so the thing was, I wasn't mad at him for yelling in my face, all that good stuff. If you guys seen basic training movies and stuff, I wasn't mad at that. That's what they do. Where I got mad at is that he kind of started disrespecting me as a man. Certain things he was saying, certain things he was doing, body language, all in my face right here, kind of touched me a little bit. I even had witnesses, right? But the reason why I'm bringing the story up to kind of somewhat to reference to this situation is that you're messing with the wrong person. I was right in the sense of how I felt, what I was thinking. Not saying Udoka was right, but my point is, when you're messing with the wrong person, you can end up in a worse situation, right? Even when people like you. So if Brad Stevens, Grusebeck or Wick, and the players, everybody can love you, but the people that's higher than you, if they don't rock with you like that and you make them mad, even the people at your level a little bit higher cannot protect you. And so in my story, real quick, everybody liked me for the most part. Everybody. I was a fun-loving guy. Problem was I messed with somebody higher, and then they talking about taking money away, taking time away. Even though they were trying to protect me, at the end of the day, I messed with the wrong person.
Right.
So that's the point I'm trying to make here. I think overall in this situation, this would not be a big deal for two reasons. You already touched on it, BJ. If the Celtics didn't leak it and kept it in house, but I think and this is just assumptions now because this is not facts, but I think he messed with the wrong person, and he messed with the wrong person's woman, and so therefore that person probably got emotional, and either they leaked it out or somebody else around that close circle leaked it out. And so now Stevens and Wick and different people who like Udoka have to kind of jump in front of as much as they can without saying too much. Because at the end of the day, and everybody kind of rationalized this already at this point, if it's consensual, why we ain't talking about the lady? That's simple. And BJ, I'll let you. I know you want to talk on that, so I'm gonna end it right there. I'm gonna let you follow up on that one.
Yeah. So yesterday I had my theories of who I think the person is based off of just looking at the roster. Everybody understand when you talk about the NBA, it's just like any other position, any other job. NBA is a job. On a website, you have a roster of everybody on the team and the staff and the higher ups. You have a full negated roster. Now, I went onto that actual website, the roster, to see the Boston Celtics, and from what I looked up and down that list several times, going by the details of what was presented, this guy, Udoka, slept with somebody in the Boston Celtics organization. Okay? Boston Celtics organization, that's what was revealed the first day. The very first day it was said he was having a relationship with somebody in the organization. Okay, that's check one. Check two, it was dealing with somebody's wife. It wasn't just a, here and there thing. It was somebody's wife into the organization. Some people said that the husband didn't work at the organization, the Boston Celtics, which doesn't make sense to me because why would you care what the Boston Celtics do if you're not in the organization? I'm talking about the husband. The husband and the wife have to be in the same organization, otherwise the Boston Celtics wouldn't even leak this story. All would have been was Udoka was dealing with a married woman who was outside, whose husband was outside the organization. So I put two and two together. I'm like, these two work for the Boston Celtics. So when I saw this is the vice president of finance and controller, Mr. Patrick Lynch. Okay, y'all see that right there, Patrick Lynch. That's the vice president of finance and controller. So that means he's in charge of the money. Very powerful man. And then when I looked into the rest of the whole staff, I saw Kathleen Lynch, who's the team services manager. Okay. Both work for the Boston Celtics, as y'all can see. One guy is very powerful, vice president of finance and controller. The other one is the part of the team service manager. Now, that's what I said made sense putting two and two together. And from what have been later reports, like that's just been revealed, they said that the way that this whole thing got brought out is that one of the players snitched on Ime Udoka, and this became a situation. Okay, we need to investigate this. This is an investigation. Y'all heard what Wick Grosbeck said in the interview, the press conference. He said this was something that's been investigated over the last few months. Well, why was it investigated? If it had to be a big deal, somebody must have gotten their feelings. So credit to Rick for saying that the person who leaked this or the person surrounding this, they in the Celtics organization, that's how this got out. I don't think Brad Stevens and Whit Grossbeck wanted this to get out. I think there were certain parties into the organization who leaked this information out. And then it got messy to the point where now they can't control it. But now my thing is, if you're going to have this information out now, it is what it is. You might as well just finish the job and release this woman. Well, why aren't they releasing this woman? Because, again, she's connected to somebody powerful in the organization, and they're trying to protect this woman. If it was consensual sex, why is your head coach the only person getting raked through the coals? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense unless the person is being protected, this woman. So I'm going to let you respond to that, Rick, and I'm going to, get my soliloquy on a couple other things. Then we're going to let some other people in.
Well, look, man, you said it. It's all about protection for her. It's just that plain and simple. Very unfair. Again, Udoka put himself in a position. I mean, obviously he has discipline in other areas, but as I always tell certain people, it always takes a woman to take down a great man. So at the end of the day, he chose wrong. But now, like you said, BJ, I have to just bounce off what you just said. If you're going to put it out there, you might as well say the whole thing at this point. And since it was consensual, there's no need to protect anybody. These were two consenting adults. I don't care about titles, staffers, he's already in trouble. He's already suspended. They're going to dock his pay. You know what I mean? So they said that in the press conference. They're going to take his pay. I don't know if it's going to take half of what they're going to do, but they say drastically is going to hit him. They get taken away from his coaching position. So look, what's going to happen to this other consenting adult? What's going to happen? Right? I mean, nothing. So that right there gives me and BJ a tip that, okay, this person is somebody higher up. Somebody got emotional and they're trying to protect her. Okay. And obviously, whoever they're trying to protect is connected to someone, or it could be the person they're protecting that does a lot for the organization, or who knows the organization very well, has a good tenure with them. Because like I said, this is Udoka's first year. So Udoka's probably likable, but this person who they're trying to protect is obviously more valuable. So it's a big difference. You can be likable, but not as valuable as somebody. You know what I mean? That takes time. So, and to see those titles that BJ just pulled up, you're the vice president of finances, and then you're also the team management of how you move people around, like far as flights and how to get to NBA games and where they're going to land, and where the team services manager, like stuff like this, and BJ, it's at the top of my head. I was watching so many videos on this. Now, this is where Nia Long kind of creeps in.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to talk bad on her, because Nia Long is one. I will be fair to her. She's one of those, celebrities who really keep her name out of it. So I definitely won't talk bad. But that was a video I was watching where, pretty much that she knows this person, because when it comes to traveling and going places, she would be in contact with the services, management, organization. So she might know Miss Lynch, again, this is all, alleged, right? We don't have the facts, but we're just kind of piecing stuff together here. We're just kind of putting stuff together, because a lot of, like I said, if this wasn't a higher up, if this wasn't fraternization or insubordination, things of that nature, this wouldn't even be a thing. This wouldn't even be a big problem, because it's already not a criminal legal matter. So that's out the window, right? So at the end of the day, what's up, Real Easy? Salute. At the end of the day, Play for Keeps 20, salute. At the end of the day, if it's not a criminal legal matter, right, and if it wasn't a higher up matter, then this wouldn't be a thing. Hence is why me and BJ were like, well, we didn't really care at the beginning. But now that we see that they're using they're using the whole, fraternization, or, not the best interest of a company. Because let me break something really quick down for y'all. It don't matter what level you're on in the business. They do fraternization and different policies like that, because you just don't crap where you eat. I know y'all heard that phrase before. You don't crap where you eat. You don't have emotional or lover type intimacies with people on your job, because it's bad for business. It can mess up productivity. It can mess up the way that things work within the system, how your company runs, because somebody has a bad day, like in Udoka's situation, and then they come blow the whole spot up. So that's why they don't really, entertain or want people that's working in the same area to get into relationships, unless it's serious, unless they end up getting married. Or a good example is when Phil Jackson and Jenny Buss got together back in the day, but they both made it known that they were together. So it's like it's a worldwide thing. But if you're, secretly in Udoka's situation, if you're secretly trying to be quiet about it, the first thing you got to do is make sure you got all your ducks in a row. And obviously, he didn't have all his ducks in a row. He got caught slipping. So it's one of those things where they do stuff like this to kind of keep things like this from happening, because a team's name, a team's value, their brand, all this gets hit when this type of stuff comes out. So that's really the big issue. No, I'm gonna be honest with you. Nobody really cares that he slept with somebody's wife. Nobody. I'm not condoning it, but nobody really cares. I mean, this happens every day. The problem is that the Boston Celtics have this. Think about it. If you own a business, and every time somebody looks at your business and they go, "Oh, that's the people over there that sleep with your wives and your husbands," you don't want that kind of brand. You known for making peanut butter jelly sandwiches, not making peanut butter jelly sandwiches and smacking your wives on the booty when they come in. That's not what you want to be known for. So that's the only reason why it even matters at this point. But like B Jizzle said, man, I'm gonna hand it back to him. At the end of the day, man, Udoka, keep doing your thing, man. Stay strong, brother. You made a terrible choice, but hey, man, it's not criminal. Bounce back, come back. Somebody gonna hire you. I saw your resume. And B Jizzle, back to you, man.
Yeah, man, good points. But I'm glad you brought this up, because that was going to be my next thing. So there were some details that was leaked today. So the newest scoop, what I'm saying, around the campfire is that Neil Long's camp said that Ime Udoka, or there was a starter that revealed details about this relationship with Ime Udoka and this mysterious woman. Now, I'm not sure who in her camp said that, because that's a bold statement to say, but it is the truth that she does know this woman who used to, who's the team services manager, apparently. So people know what's going on in this organization. People know what's up. It's just that there's nobody wants to talk. My thing is, how long you gonna continuously hold stuff in? Another point that they made in this press conference with Brad Stevens and Wick Grosbeck was that players right now are very concerned. They're very confused about what's going on. And I'm like, I can imagine, because you're in a situation where you just had a chance to go to the finals and win it. You're supposed to come back this year as the favorites. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to come back as the favorites this year and compete for a championship. And then the rug was pulled underneath your feet, where now it's like you don't even know who's going to coach you. So actually the person that's going to coach you is actually this guy by the name Joe Mazzulla, who was one part of the assistant coaching staff last year. He played under Bob Huggins for West Virginia. From what these two have said about him, about this upcoming coach, he's very passionate. He's a special person, special guy. He knows how to relate to players very well. He kind of looks like he can be Ime Udoka's son. If you think about it, he kind of resembles him a little bit. So hopefully he picked up some habits off of watching him the last year. But as I said yesterday, this guy has a track record from, back in 2008 and 2009, where he was in a couple of, assault situations, one with a lady and another one, with drunk driving. And his resume ain't squeaky clean either. But you want to get rid of Udoka because you said that he has slept, he messed up some policies. Like you said, no one cares that he slept with this person's wife. No one really cares. They can act like they do, but it's not affecting you. You don't really care, and you really don't. If you don't hear about this story anymore, you're gonna watch the NBA season, and you're not gonna really have to be invested in it. But now that you got these details starting to leak out, you might as well just finish your food and just come out with it, because the players deserve to get this monkey off their back. The more you keep lingering this on for the season, the more it's going to be a distraction to everybody else, to the organization. The Celtics say they're a Class A organization and they care about their people. You might as well just put this out there so people can kind of move on. It is what it is. Somebody leaked the story out. Now it's time to finish the job and stand up for what you had put out there. Right. So, but my last thoughts, man. I think personally, this dude, Ime Udoka, is not going to coach back with the Boston Celtics. I think he's not going to come back to the team. They put this year suspension on. Initially, I thought was to really railroad him. when I spoke on that, I meant just really one guy. But like I said, hearing this press conference between Brad Stevens and Wick Grusbach, I think they generally like him. And they gave him the year suspension because they were like, man, they don't know what to do. They didn't want to fire him because they know he's a good coach. Like you said, he can coach. Like, so you don't want to get rid of your coach who just took you to the finals, but you can't keep him around after what you learned internally that you, and in my opinion, you slept with somebody's wife, one of your partners. I mean, how do you come back from that? So I'm gonna let you finish out, bro. I'm gonna let people in.
I mean, look, man, the way I finish this is that, again, Udoka, terrible choice, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like it's over for the brother. BJ, you keep hitting on it. I think they really like him. To be honest with you, I think they chose that form of punishment because, kind of like court, the judges have a ruling, like they have for certain crimes, there's a certain time limit, right? So I think in all reality, if let's say Stevens and Wick was like the top guys, the owner of the organization, I think they just probably would have fined him. Because like you said, I think they have a good relationship with him. I think, but power pulls, right? So they're not in that position to make the final say so, right? So I think they did that, right? They did that because they had to punish him somehow and to kind of ease the mind and like the anger of the person that's being emotionally affected by it, right? Because there's three things happening all at once. You're protecting the woman, okay? So her name's not out there. You're taking his money. You're taking his livelihood, all right? And you're suspending him and you're shaming him on the public airlines,
right?
Okay, three things all in one happening. So I feel like the punishment is a little overbearing in my opinion, of course, but it's fair enough to say that I think Steven, and even I think what's his name? Wick even said that Udoka, admitted like, yeah, I take that, yearly suspension because at the end of the day, he knew he committed the crime. That probably falls within their policies to do. They could have fired him, but that falls within their policies to, suspend you for a year. So they agreed to it. And my thinking is, unless, they somehow hash it out, the person that he slept with, and they can actually get over it, because like I said, I feel like this is more of a crowd control thing. I feel like it's not even really a big deal. But if it is, the worst case scenario, man, he's pretty much in NBA Celtics jail for a year. And then once he gets out, man, he gonna get another job. Like I said, the brother has proven himself. He has an incredible resume and a credible journey to, read about, look up. So, man, Udoka, man, just quit making bad decisions and stay disciplined, man. And if you're gonna mess with somebody, just don't mess with somebody's wife. Just mess with the women who ain't got no man out here, so you can stay out of trouble. You got the money.
Yeah, and that's something I wanted to touch on too, with this whole relationship thing with Ime Udoka and Nia Long. Now, I was listening to a channel by the name of Ticket TV. Ticket TV, shout out to Ticket TV for the the channel. You know what I'm saying? They were talking about today the relationship between these two and what is their actual status. Like, they proclaim themselves as being engaged, but they've been engaged since 2015. And somebody who's been engaged that long, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to probably get married. So basically, my thing is, okay, that's a good point. We need to know who this woman is because we know Nia Long actually said, and this is very important, people need to, read this part. She said she didn't want to be married. Oh, look.
Oh, her name has been released. The husband VP is Patrick. Oh, so we already got the information then.
Bro, right. we just
not got the information.
I'm telling you, Kathleen Lynch.
That's who it is.
Well,
appreciate you, Jerry Lee. Salute.
Her name has been released. The husband's VP is Patrick Lynch. I don't recall her first name though. So, this is, like I said, this is the connection I saw. So we got the Patrick Lynch side, right? But did they say the actual? They ain't say the person's name, the girl's name yet.
Nah, Jerry Lee just said it's the
100.
VP, Patrick Lynch. So if that's the case, then it has to be Kathleen. That's who we married to.
Yeah, so okay, so she said, yeah, that's her. Okay, well, yeah, we was right. It was right. But back to what I was saying. Now, this is perfect timing for what Mrs. Lee said. Appreciate that, Mrs. Lee. We know what he did was wrong. Ime Udoka did was wrong. Cheat on your wife or cheat on your fiance, bro. There's no point. There's no place for that. But we have to pay attention to, like, there's a reason why I think men go outside their marriage and cheat sometimes. Not condoning this at all. But 9 times out of 10, they're trying to look for something they don't have at home. Same thing for women. Women cheat for same reasons, like they feel like they're missing something in their relationship that they can find it somewhere else. Right? So this woman, Kathleen Lynch, I ain't seen her face yet, but she's married. And Nia Long said, actually, she said she didn't want to be married. She wanted to have relationships, she wanted to date, but she didn't ever want to be married. Now, of course, Nia Long is gorgeous. We all know her from Friday, you know what I'm saying, different sitcoms on Fresh Prince. She's kind of, little Miss Black America, like it's around the world. Like we all love Nia Long. So it's like, why aren't you married? Why haven't you ever been married? Okay, I hope people are staying when I'm getting to a point. I'm gonna, bring it home. Udoka, for him to go and step out on her, a person who's gorgeous, a person who's beautiful, a person who seems to have her chairs pushed to the table, I have to ask the reason why did he feel like going and messing with a married woman's wife? Why would you do that? And then somebody brought up a good point. It's because could it be that Ime Udoka wants what Nia Long doesn't want, and that's a marriage, and she looked at another woman and saw she was married and brought qualities to him that he liked, because this relationship has been going on for quite some time. This was a secret relationship. So they both saw something in each other that they felt like they were missing out their household. Because this other woman, Kathleen, she obviously was missing something out of her marriage as well. So that's what happens a lot of times where people actually step out on each other. They find something in somebody else that they're not getting back at the house. So bringing it on to the main point of what I'm saying is Nia Long knows this woman. It seems like Kathleen Lynch. So that's another reason why they kept this information away for so long, because it's an embarrassment. It's embarrassing to have a person that you see all the time who's helped you out with flights, who's helped you out with business. They smacking, boots with your man.
Young Africa killing me.
That's gotta hurt. Right, that's gotta hurt. She said women usually cheat with exes.
Facts.
That's a fact. Miss Lee is cooking, man. I hope you subscribe to the channel, Miss Lee. I appreciate your input. Smash that like button. He said smash that like
button. Young Africa been acting up the whole time, yeah.
Yeah, man. Young Africa's stupid. But no, like Mrs. Lee said, women usually cheat with their exes because they feel like they missed that thrill that they once had, or they feel like their new person they have don't have those same things that the one person once brought. So it's a touchy subject. I'm gonna let the people in unless you got something else to say, bro.
Oh no, I was just gonna agree with Miss Jerry Lee here. This happened to me last week, because BJ, I'm in a relationship, man. So I showed my girl the message from one of my exes, like Jerry Lee is kind of saying. I'm kind of adding a story to this. Actually happened to me last week. My ex, now that's over 3 years ago. She hits me up. It's Sunday, and she basically says, in just a short summary, "Hey, I know you're a respectable guy. I know you're nice." This is what she said. "I know you're respectable. I know you're nice, and I know you have a woman." So she knows these things.
Why you hitting me up then?
and then she goes, "Look, I haven't had intercourse, right, in 2 years. So if you could just come by every now and then and we set something up, basically come knock me down whenever I'm in the mood." I instantly showed my girl, right? So the point I'm making is, and kind of agree what Jerry Lee is saying, is familiarity that L gets me. Basically, it's like, yeah, women move like that. And but the whole point of me bringing that up is that, you know, when people cheat, it's like it's a very selfish thing, because I want to point out what I read in text message. I'm a respectable guy. I'm nice. So you know these things about me. You know I'm in a relationship, and you want me to come and knock you down when you feel like it. Selfish. You literally just, you know that I have a girl, and you want me to come knock you down when you feel like it. You're not thinking about my situation. You're not thinking about me. You're not thinking about how you can mess up my situation at all. So why would I come knock down a person like you? You're disrespectful and you have no value.
And
so that's the kind of mind Udoka needs to have right now. Granted, I don't know Udoka's situation, because I don't know if him and his woman argue. I don't know what they talk about. Some could have happened to where it could have been an open relationship. We don't know these people personally, right? So be very tread softly on that ice. But at the end of the day, it just goes to show that both men and women cheat. And at the end of the day, this is nothing new. Nothing new. It's only a problem because the Boston Celtics got it out here, and you got this man suspended for a whole year, and he just took you to the finals, but we haven't heard anything about what you're going to do with the woman. If he getting punished, she needs to get punished. That's really the only issue. Outside of that, I could care less, man, but I'm done.
Man, and that's my point. I'm going to let Young Africa talk a little bit, but and that goes to show you there's a double standard. You don't rate this man over the coals for the last 48, 72 hours. And you just, according to Miss Lee, she said they released her, and I'm going to check that out. But it took you this amount of time, and there was no accountability. I hope y'all heard what my boy Rick Story said. That just shows you that they put accountability on the men, you know, to do the right thing. And, you know what I'm saying, have self-control, which is, I believe, is a fact that you're supposed to have self-control as a man. But how are we supposed to have great, good relationships when everybody isn't held accountable? If only one side is held accountable, how are we supposed to, you know what I'm saying, make monogamous relationships? Because one side feels like they're entitled to always just get a pass. It shouldn't have took this long for this woman to be, you know what I'm saying, shown. You know what I mean? And she cheated just like this man cheated. So why she should have been brought to the forefront right away.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce is stupid. He said, please.
Yo, I've been reading.
Bruce need to come on, man. Shout out to Bruce, man. I got a chance to, you know, see Bruce yesterday, man. Shout out to Bruce. Saw him in person. That was a good time.
Bruce, man. Bruce always, he number one, man. He be on here.
Yeah, Bruce a cool dude, man. He's a cool dude. Young Africa, what's up, little bro?
Hey, salute to y'all, man. Pull Up Podcast, man. Salute to you, B Jizzle, man. All the brothers, you know, support the channel. You guys keep it real, man. You guys are real, even respectful with how you contextualize everything. I like that, and you guys are real, respectful dudes, man. So I respect that, man. But coming to Udoka, man, I'm surprised that the brother says that he's gonna have a career in the NBA. I feel like his career is over, man. I feel like Ime Udoka might as well start a podcast called the Pull Out Podcast, bro. The Pull Out Podcast. That's what he needs to do. The Pull Out Podcast, man. He does not have a job in the NBA anymore, man. Sadly. And I agree with mostly what you guys said, you know, about the situation. We don't know all the details. So I'm gonna move on and talk about an issue that I feel is grand too, and that's you know, I'm in the motherlands, but I've grown up in, you know, many Western countries, and I've grown up in white spaces, right? And so the business of sports, the business of the NBA being a white space, I got an issue with what this means for. I think someone got an echo. But the issue about a black coach, right, doing this and how it will affect. So I got a question for you, brother. How would this affect black coaches in the NBA? When a man who was just so successful in his first season takes a team to the finals, and the team is showing that the business of basketball and the image of the corporation is more valuable than winning, they've evidently shown that. So what does that do for black coaches in the future, do y'all think, man?
I'm going to let Rick go first, bro.
I mean, to me, I don't think Udoka represents us all, right? I'm proud of him, you know, but I'm going to give him the same energy I give Will Smith. I'm going to give him the same energy I gave Kobe back in the day. I'm gonna give them all the same energy. You just made a stupid decision. You know what I mean? And you have to face your consequences. So, like any man would, whether you're black, white, Asian, I don't think it would change anything. I mean, to be honest with you, Joe, the picture that BJ just showed, the brother looked like he got some black in him. I mean, he looked like he'd be a little Hispanic. I didn't do any research on him to really call him out, but
yeah, he's black like for sure.
You know, he like a brother. So I don't think it really affects what another black man does in the NBA. I just think that, you know, he just made himself look bad, because using my own personal story that Bruce wants to hear so bad, I didn't cheat. So it doesn't account for all of us. You see what I mean? It doesn't account for what you do on your personal time. If I'm doing the right things, there's nothing that can come against me. Unless you have proof and facts, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, it's not going to affect me. If I'm out here coaching, being disciplined, being where I need to be, staying out of somebody's wife's, you know, vagina, I ain't got nothing to worry about. But, you know, if I had little extra, you know, activities on the side and I get sought out, that's on me. It doesn't affect the whole black community. But I get the perspective that you're coming at, you know, because on a deeper level psychologically, black people in America, we're probably the only culture really who don't know ourselves, right? Like, you know, Asians over here in America, they know where they come from. They from China, they from Japan, Middle Eastern, they know where they come from. They know where they people at. But, you know, when it comes to us, we just like, we American. Like, I mean, not really, but we American, right? So I get the deep concept of that. But just to kind of keep things very short and simple here, not to get too far off the topic here, at the end of the day, he's his own man. You know, he got the color, but at the end of the day, he's his own guy. So I don't think it would really affect other black coaches if other black coaches are handling their business. That's how I think about it.
What's good with you, Bruce?
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm all right. That's not a topic that I'm really interested in anymore, but we're discussing it, so I want to participate because the brother already got punished, so I don't want to drag his name more in the mud, even though I don't know her name officially. So I think you guys said something Lynch. I don't know.
Yeah, Kathleen
Lynch. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's her name. So allegedly that's her name. But that a Young Africa Day has nothing to do with race. There's a lot of coaches there was a coach in football. I think his name was Petrino or something. He had the relationship with a staffer, and now he's a coach for another team. So, but after a couple years, so I think he may go back to San Antonio. You know, he may have Greg Popovich speaks for him. So Greg Popovich is respected, so he may get another job. But head coach, it's gonna take a while. But I don't think he's gonna coach the Celtics anymore.
Well, okay. I understand what he did. It looks bad right now. It looks bad. Like, I mean, right now it's still fresh. But I want y'all to recall a time when Kobe went through the whole sexual allegation, right? Went through the whole rape allegation in 2004, where he was accused of having sex with a minor. And at that time in 2004, Kobe was looked at as a rapist, and it was a very dark time of his life. His marriage was falling, a chance of him losing his children. He already had the stigma of being arrogant, selfish, not a team player. So, and now you add rapists. You add rapists to the whole, thing. After, I'll say about 2008, when he got to the NBA Finals, which was 4 years later, he won a championship. He reamped his entire image. It took a few years. It took about 3 or 4 years to do that, but he finally did it. So now to the point where, he wins championships, 2 championships in a row. You go from 2010 to 2016. He has that memorable 60-point game, his last game of his NBA career. He starts to develop the mama mentality, all these things. And then, of course, before his passing, he was looked at as like a girl dad. You know what I mean? He was looked at as a person who, quite frankly, now, a lot of these men who have daughters who are playing basketball, they take after what Kobe did with his daughter Gianna. So my point is basically that your image can always be, it could be a value where people can change. You can change your image if you work on it. Just like you go to prison, you may have made a mistake, but people can get off on good behavior if you choose to, get yourself in a better state of mind. I think with this whole Ime Udoka thing, I think he can most definitely get a coaching job somewhere else because, again, he's a great coach. And I think with him making a mistake, being remorseful, saying he's accepting his punishment, whatever's coming with it, he's showing that he's taking accountability. Took a little bit of time, but he finally took it. So I think for sure he can get another coaching job.
You think Udoka has the same leverage that Kobe had, being pretty much the best player in the game at that time?
I mean, he's one of the best coaches. I mean, he just took his team to the finals. And he's a good-looking dude, honestly. And that goes a long way in society. The better looking you are, the more opportunities you get.
Kobe was the best player in the game? Okay.
At the time.
Something else. Okay, go ahead.
At that time, hey, come on, Bruce. We ain't going to do that, Bruce. Yeah,
really?
He was.
Oh, yeah,
yes, he was.
Oh, yeah.
We ain't going to do that, Bruce. Yes, he was.
He was the best player in the game? Really? You sure?
You already know he about to come at you with Tim Duncan.
Come on,
he about to come at
you.
you.
He was dropping 50 with them allegations, bros. Come on, bro.
Yeah, okay. With Shaq on his team, with
come on.
Gary Payton.
Okay. October, Texas Mason come to the Lakers. Like trust me, these people don't care about what you do in your private, personal life. If you can help them win, hey, it's about business at the end of the day. You help them win. That's why they give them so much leverage on the Boston Celtics, I think, because if this would have been a coach that was trash, it'd been like, sign your barking papers, you would have been fired. But they don't want to let him go.
Why not protect the coach and fire the lady, and protect the coach?
You say what? Go ahead, Young Africa.
Well, my question was, why not then protect the coach and dismiss the lady or sanction the lady, and you can give him behind the scenes punishment, but why not protect the coach first and foremost?
I got you. Answer this question for me though, and it's gonna make your mind run. Would you protect the employee or your business?
Yeah, the business all day for sure.
So there you go. That's why they came after the coach.
Yeah.
Both people are at fault. Okay. So what you guys, I did some research on that lady you guys said, and I see that she has 3 kids, and they're young. So I don't know, why would I want, the guy is insane. I would fire the guy. I don't know why they give him 1 year. I would fire the guy, man.
Because my theory, like yesterday, was they want to stick this out for reasons like, they want to put it over his head, because again, think about it, your job for a year, you don't know if you're going to come back or not. That's a mental block. You're going to get your pays deducted. You're already humiliated through all the NBA world and tabloids. So that's shame right there. But in my opinion, I think they don't want to fire him because they generally like the guy. They generally like the dude.
I think they don't want to fire him because he may sue them, and then the lady may have to speak publicly or show herself publicly.
I don't think that's
but I see what angle Bruce is coming at, though. I see what he's coming at.
Unfair dismissal all day, man.
Go ahead, Rick.
No, I see the angle he's coming at, because like you just said it, BJ. Basically, if the shame and everything he's going through right now, something that basically should be in-house, he's being put out there. He's literally getting dragged through the coals, like you said. So Udoka can come back when he basically serves his time there. Basically, if he keeps his head up, does his time, and then he wants to come back and say something, he can do that. So I see the angle that Bruce is coming at. I honestly feel, and I'm kind of going to use what Stephen A. Smith said a little bit here, is like either fire him or let him coach. Just fine him with a big fine. But if you're going to keep him, ain't no point in just keeping that man there and just looking at him.
I guess, does the lady still have the job?
Yes.
So when he comes back, it's still going to deal with the lady again?
Well, nobody knows. That's what I'm saying. Nobody knows nothing about this lady. We don't know if she has the job or not, because again, the vice president, if this is the vice president or president and controller, we don't know what they do privately. They don't know what they're doing privately. Nobody's talking, so we don't know publicly where a situation is.
BJ, in that press conference, they asked the owner if anyone else is being punished, and he said no. Specifically said no. Anyone else in the organization being punished? He said no. That's amazing. Which kind of you can assume that means that it was only Udoka that caught the heat and no one else. Which means this is not about a consensual relationship. At the end of the day, more details will come out. But I'm assuming, and what people have said is that it was consensual. They told him, hey, man, cool out in July. He kept going. The lady somehow probably didn't want it. She went to HR, complained, right? He kept pressing the issue. There's all these texts. And this, why does it take many months to investigate a consensual relationship? Now, they went through all the messages, emails, there's paper trails, and it looks bad on Udoka's part because he possibly allegedly pressed the issue. And then it becomes harassment at that point. And then it becomes an actual workplace dispute where it could go to court. They could get sued for discrimination and certain things that happen in the workplace. And so I feel like it's not just about the relationship, and it's about the legal issue, which is why they didn't fire him off the get-go, because firing him is admitting that he did something wrong, which you are liable for. So I feel like it's about that more than, but we don't know the issue, so I don't know what it is.
I don't think
crazy.
Like I said, I don't think I think they generally like this guy, man. I generally think they like him. If you look at Ime Udoka, man, he comes off to me as a person who has a lot of charm. He's great at his job. He's a fun person to be around. He's a leader of men. So I think they really take a liking towards him. They don't really want to make this decision to let him go or fire him. I think this woman is, for somebody to say the woman's not going to get in trouble, but he is, if it was consensual, that to me, that's when you can sue them. But I think they have an understanding. Ime Udoka knows he messed up. And how are you going to sue the organization? Unless they just flat out just do something very unfair, like hold you accountable, not the other woman.
If they liked him, he would not been suspended. In my opinion, I think he would have been fined or something.
But if that's true, what Young Africa is saying, they told him to chill out, and he didn't do it, then how much more of a rope can you give him? You already talked to him. You already told him, look, you gotta chill. You did what you did. We're actually giving you a slap on the wrist, and this came after you got to the finals. You're a good coach. We want you to stay, but you gotta chill out. Now that you made this happen, you made this. Got echo. Okay. If you didn't listen to me the first time, what makes you I'm gonna listen to you the second time with a fine?
But why didn't they move the lady? Why they let the lady still there?
That's what I'm saying. We don't know about the lady, but all I'm saying is if she's married to this dude, then that's a pretty good reason that she's being protected. Because understand, like you said, she got kids with this man, and could you imagine how that would look in the public eye? Say, okay, here's the lady. She's married to the vice president with 3 kids. And by the way, she has a relationship with Nia Long, who's Ime Udoka's fiance. How would that look on the Boston Celtics? That would look like a complete, utter disappointment. That we would never have seen nothing like that. So it's That's like they're covering her up because they're trying to cover themselves up.
What they're blatantly saying is the vice president of finance is more important than the head coach, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's where the money at. The Department of Treasury of the United States important to me. I need my money.
Yeah. These are elites. These are elite people. Like, yeah, you're a good coach, but don't forget who cuts your check.
Facts. Shit. Udoka tripping, man. That's some wild shit to do, man. As he said, he has all the money in the world, multi-millionaire. He can buy anyone out here on some legal level and do what he needs to do. But he does what many people and many men in power do, which is power trip on their position. And I don't know what else it would be outside of power, man, and just feeling like you're doing you're able to do whatever you want, man. I don't know if you've seen the video where they won the Eastern Conference Championship and he gave her that, touch on the shoulder, like he didn't even care, man. He didn't even care. Point blank, when all the world's cameras are on you, he didn't even care. And that's a power trip at the end of the day, man. And that's amazing. That's amazing to me that you can sell it out, and really the players cop the consequences, man, because they're a championship contender. And I don't think they are anymore, man. Sadly, they ain't.
Yeah.
They were a championship contender?
What? Yes, Bruce. They just made the finals, Bruce. Come on, man. We ain't gonna argue on the facts, Bruce. Come on, man.
The facts.
They just made the finals, Bruce. How are they not contenders, man? What?
Man, Tatum is still on the team?
Yo.
You don't like Tatum.
Yo, Bruce, don't talk about the Celtics with Bruce, man. If it ain't Larry Bird and McHale on that team, don't talk about it.
They keep losing finals, losing.
Yeah. You can still be a contender with losing, Bruce. Come on, man.
No, I mean,
he said, nah.
Shout out to Delta Blue, and y'all keep in that like button, man. We got 71 people in the chat. Let's try to get to 100. He said he may have had a couple of violations more than one woman. Now that's another thing. Now stories are coming out that it was just more than just not this woman, but multiple women in the organization. I could see that. Like I said, he's a good looking dude. He has, a little bit of a mojo. He got the head coaching job of the Boston Celtics, an historic franchise. You on your way to win a championship. And it's clear to me that him and Nia Long have some differences. I think they want different things in life. I think Ime Udoka wants something that Nia Long can't give him, and I think that Nia Long has something that she shows she can't give to Ime Udoka, and he's actually acted out in different ways. Because again, like I said, this dude could have been messing with a single, for what we know, messing with a single woman, no kids, no nothing. Why would you go and talk to a woman who has 3 children already and who's married?
Because she has something to lose too. That's typically why married people jump outside of their marriages and mess with each other, because you have something to lose. You tend to not mess with a single person because they don't have nothing to lose. Like they don't, they single. But if I'm married and the other sister married and we messing with each other, well, she got a husband, she got kids, I got a wife, I got kids, we gonna stay quiet because we know if we come out, we're gonna blow up our households. That's usually why people move like that. You have something to lose. Yeah,
I think also though too that, like I said, going back to what I said with Nia Long, that she didn't want to be married because Ime Udoka actually proposed to Nia Long, and of course she didn't take it. So I think that kind of somewhat. I mean, and here's my thing too. That's why I don't feel like they need to be together. Because obviously you're not going to get married, but you have a 10-year-old son that I think that's why he's choosing to stick around the way he is. But it's obviously not going nowhere in this relationship. And now you're in a situation where you cheated and you stepped out and you actually losing your job potentially over some nonsense, like and not having self-control. But the point I'm getting to again is like I was saying, I don't think Ime Udoka, I think he's going to be able to coach again in the league, but it's not going to be very soon. Or it could. Maybe some team will give him a chance because how good he can do the job.
If he's going to coach, there's going to be someone there. Every time there's a woman around him, there has to be someone that's, that's checking up on him.
I see what he's saying. I mean, to be honest with you, again, I don't think it really matters to the public that much. I think it's only an issue at this point because of the Boston Celtics leaking it and how they're handling it. Of course, like I said, when I initially watched that whole, press conference, I just felt like they had to say something. They had to give us something. They didn't give us much, but they had to say something. And so, me personally, I think Udoka, he still has a future in the NBA. Now, me personally, I don't think he's going to end up with the Celtics, just because of what Bruce is kind of touching on. As long as that lady is there, that's just weird. Jerry Lee kind of touched on it too in the chats here. It's just kind of awkward. I mean, you smashing the chick, you know what I'm saying? And if everybody know your business on the team, You know, it's just now that it's kind of blown, the spot's blown up, as they say. You just need to go somewhere else and start it new. You know what I mean? And like Bruce saying, now they probably gonna have, you know, designated people kind of over your shoulder, you know, during the games, you know, even when you practicing, just kind of sitting in the benches, just looking at you like, all right, he ain't talking to nobody. Check his phones real quick. All right, because we need you to win. We need you to get back to the finals, brother. We need you to, you know, if you're gonna get some, you know, and you don't want it from Nia, you know, so we got this little list here that you can go buy. We pay you, so we know you can afford it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like to move the way he was moving, it's like, bruh, slacking. And I ain't judging you. It's just you got caught up slacking.
Yeah,
Wow.
like my thing is,
what up, Ms. Davis?
Ms. Davis, how you doing? Also, people in the chat, man, if you are using profane language and stuff like that, we will put you in timeout. So make sure you just keep it respectful, please.
Yeah, I see what he was doing.
So Delta Boost, I think Ben has a point. What is so ugly that even Matt Barnes can't speak on it? And that's what when I first heard Matt Barnes said it got ugly. It got something where it was like some stuff happening. If it comes out, it comes out. One or two things went into my mind. Either this was a situation where it could be something that which was rape, which he forced this on this woman, which I didn't believe for 1 second, or that he messed with somebody's wife or somebody he shouldn't have messed with. Because what's so ugly about having a consensual relationship? If that's what was reported initially, it only could be that you did it with somebody that you weren't supposed to do it with, and somebody found out, spilled the beans, and hey, that's it.
That's
Yeah,
what. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna add that's what I heard is that the VP had some suspicions about his wife allegedly, and then he had a private investigator who was following her, and Ime just caught up in the mix, man. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong lady, man. Shit.
No, that's what we were talking about yesterday. The rule is the rule. They said no office romance. I don't care if it's consensual. No office romance. Just respect it.
I don't think that's it, Bruce.
Okay.
There's exception to the rules.
No, the rule is no office romance. If you
didn't see that.
Respect the rule, you still be coaching.
They were doing office. Well, it's very hard for me just to see that that's something that they put in that policy. It's very hard.
If it was on the office romance, they violated the rule, he will still be coaching. He'll be fine, but he will still be coaching. But because he did the office romance with somebody else that hired somebody's wife, hiring the organization, maybe that's why he got suspended for a year.
That's what I mean.
So that's two. That's double. You violated the rules and you slept with someone's wife. That's very important.
Well, that's what I start with the fact that she slept with a higher up's wife. I don't start. So if he would have dated a cheerleader, then that would cause for him to be suspended. I don't think so.
Technically to the rule, yes, but no. The cheerleader's just out. That's all they do, bro. She just loses her job. She slides out, and that's about it, man. That's about it, I assume.
Yeah, I just think I know how the higher ups be, man. Like they give rules to people that they don't follow themselves. So I'm just not really for Ben that wants to come in. There's a link right there.
You look at violated number one rule: don't sleep with somebody who's married. That's the number one rule. Okay, you're already with someone. That's morality rule.
Morality, yeah.
Okay, that's the number one.
Morals shouldn't have to be in the contract. I shouldn't have to list you can't sleep with a married woman's wife inside the contract. That doesn't need to be listed. It doesn't make sense. Like you should, like you said, if it's a moral thing, you should already know that you know right from wrong.
If I have a team, I would not want Udoka coaching my team. Me personally.
Yeah,
you saying any team, Bruce? Any team in the league?
if I had a team,
Okay.
me personally, I would not want him. So if somebody who's married and your wife is working with Udoka, you're gonna be like every day, hey, what's going on with you and the coach? Why is he calling you? Why is it? Right?
Damn, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's why I say, bro, that the Pull Out podcast featuring Ime Udoka coming soon, man. Pull Out podcast.
Pulled out.
Damn.
Yeah, he'll be.
But how do y'all feel this is going to affect the team, Boston Celtics, as a contender? How do you think it's going to affect them this season, though?
Oh, they're done. They're done, man. They not going nowhere. I didn't think they're going anywhere anyway because I just thought Boston was like a one-hit wonder, honestly. Really? I think they got lucky that Giannis got hurt against Milwaukee. I think they got hurt. They got lucky with Miami being hobbled, but I just don't.
One of the best defensive teams in the league got lucky. Wow.
They faced teams with their best players being hurt. Giannis, Jimmy Butler.
One of the best defensive team. I didn't see that, but okay, go ahead.
That's what the stats say, Bruce. That not me.
See, I know you're a stats fan. You're a stats fan. Okay.
I don't know, young Africa. As much as I like you, Curry was crossing everybody up in the finals. Like even their center was getting it. Like,
that's true. Curry does that to everybody, though, man. Come on, he does that to
everybody. I mean, stats they are important, but what I saw, Curry was out there doing Curry on everybody.
But you didn't see Boston clamp Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, though. You saw that, though.
We talking about the finals, though. Like when he got to the finals, literally, Chef was out there being Chef. They couldn't do nothing with him. They threw everybody at him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I guess they were checking out the lady too. So
oh, come on, Bruce. Come on, Bruce.
Bruce is funny because it's real. Because I'm not gonna scare the nut. If I have a wife and I'm be like, hey, babe, on the organization. So
I'm sure Celtics fans wondering that. That's why he couldn't coach in the finals. He was busy. So,
Let's hear from Ben. He just walked in the chat. What's up, Ben?
What's up? So I've been thinking about it. Like I watched the press conference. I listened to Mike Barnes. Who is the worst person a coach could sleep with?
Wait, say it again.
Who is the worst person a coach could sleep with? Yeah.
What do you mean by worst, though, man? What's worse?
Like
the worst situation possible a coach could sleep with.
Oh, the worst situation.
It can be. That's a broad question, bro.
No,
you talking about somebody in the higher ups?
Who is the worst person a coach could sleep with?
The owner's wife, I would say personally. The owner's wife
that happens. That happens. That's nothing.
That happens. Okay, shit.
So what's the point you're getting at?
Nothing.
I'm asking y'all. Think about it. Who's the worst person a coach could sleep with?
If you're in the WNBA, the players.
And if you're in the NBA, the player.
I don't know if the coach are gay, but that could happen.
Exactly. You can't touch that. No media person can touch that.
So are you saying Udoka is gay?
I think that is the situation we're watching.
What?
Really?
Well, okay, I gotta hear this. Please explain.
What do you mean?
Player is he sleeping with?
If he messes with a player, right? That happens. I mean, workplace stuff happens all the time. But you've never heard of a pro male coach messing with a player. That takes down the whole organization. That fucks the whole NBA up. That messes up everything.
Maybe because it's never happened, bro.
Exactly.
Maybe.
So how do you handle it if you're the organization? You can't fire his ass because then the whole LBGT community comes at you. Like you gotta kind of hide him away. Like you're going away. You gotta go away.
You're talking about a hypothetical, right? That's never happened before in the history of the NBA. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what they said in that press conference. The dude said this is something I ain't never seen in 20 years. I basically made my decision off my conscience and dealing with the lawyers. Like basically, they can't say who it is because that player would sue the whole place. You can't have a player say me too.
What?
You can't have a grown masculine NBA player called me too.
That's a reach, bro. That's a reach.
Because my thing is,
is it a reach? If you're Matt Barnes, what would you not want to talk about?
Well, That's the thing, though. That can be what's going on here. Like, if you sleep with a married, first of all, if you sleep with another
Listen,
married
everybody's sleeping with everybody.
But they not
The
talking
Lakers.
about
The Lakers already show you that's
but
what goes down.
they're not going out there talking that. Nobody's sitting there saying, okay, you're sleeping with a married woman.
Listen,
that's confidential.
I got professional players. I know professional players. Wives get slept with all the time.
But are they going out there verbally telling the public that?
You can. This is 2022. Like, that's nothing.
No. I know what you're getting at, but I play pro ball too, and like one of my players slept with the owner's wife and made like
you see what you're doing, right? You can't even touch it.
I can't touch it, but I'm saying there's other things you
can't
touch.
No media person right now could touch this until the organization comes out, because if they
I wouldn't jump to it. I mean, it's an interesting story. Somebody might. It's an interesting story. Like what you said, that's an interesting point. My thing is, again, like, you basically said that that's the only they can't touch. I'm saying if Matt Barnes said that Udoka slept with somebody's wife, that's untouchable. You can't.
Man, that's nothing. Matt Barnes' ex-wife was sleeping with an NBA coach, so that's light.
She ain't a part of the organization, though, bro. She ain't in the organization. That's different, man. That's different.
What does that get him? A month or a couple weeks suspension?
She ain't in the organization. That's a whole different situation, though, bro. So you telling me that potentially, allegedly, you said that Udoka out here, cuffing the defensive player of the year, and he's holding him down and doing some crazy shit that you talking about. They're covering it up. They're covering it up with this woman.
They're not covering it up. They waiting. They waiting to Tuesday, because after media day, they got to put it's all out there. But you can't drop it on. You can't drop it on a Saturday. You can't drop it on a Sunday, because you got the college football on Saturday. You got NFL on Sunday. Like, they buying time. Like, what do you even do with this story?
Shout out to Celtics Centennial. He said you can't be the coach and the FVP wife. Yeah, exactly. You can't. Don't put that out there. That's something that you don't tell the public. You know what I'm saying?
Why? Why?
Because that's somebody in power.
In power. What could the VP of finance do to anybody?
I'm the vice president of a basketball team. That's your first of all. That's a
situation. But what could he do? Your wife got fucked by somebody. What happens?
That's why I'm saying this. That's why I'm going with it, bro. There was an investigation. That's how this whole news leaked out. This wasn't supposed to be out. Brad Stevens, I don't believe they want.
There's no way you keep it that in house though. If what I'm saying is, if what I think happened is the truth, and I'm sure we'll find out, how do you keep it in house?
No, I'm saying they did keep it in house up until the summertime, and then that's when this vice president, this husband, made a secret investigation. That's what's being reported, and
I don't believe no vice president's husbands could do no vice president's husband can do anything to a coach.
A vice president of an NBA basketball organization, bro, you don't think can do anything?
What could he do?
He can go to the owner, bro, and say it's me or him, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
It's me or him.
He makes decisions with the owners and the CEO of this team, man.
Yeah.
That's what he can do. He got power.
And that's probably a bigger reason why they hiding the information from the woman, because it'll be look more of an embarrassment.
That'll make Brad Stevens cry.
That's why they're showing. That's why they're not trying to show the information of his wife.
Exactly.
Come on, man. That's why they're hiding her identity. You guys gotta be smarter than that. Not all you guys, but just
my goodness.
Pointing out the ones.
You think there's a woman that could get you suspended for a year?
If her husband has the power to regulate what my decisions are, absolutely.
And you said Udoka is he said Udoka is accepting of the consequence.
That's what he said.
That's what what's his name? Wick or what?
And Udoka put out a statement too, right? He said he accepts it and he's cool with it and he's sorry, whatever.
Yeah, that's media PR relations right there. That's what that is.
If
you don't agree, what's he gonna say? I don't agree, and that's not correct. He can't say that.
You think Matt Barnes did a 360 after he said everybody gets slept with, and then he's terrified to say what it is?
No, he's terrified because it's the person he slept with. It wasn't that the fact that he didn't think it was consensual.
Oh my goodness!
The person he slept with.
The night before, he said everybody was getting slept with.
No. But they're not sleeping. Listen. I'm pretty sure Matt Barnes was more shocked when he found out that she's the wife of the. Well, come on, man, really? The wife
He
of the VP.
said that Matt Barnes said that they have consensual relationships in the workplace. That's what you. That's what
And he
Ime
listed
Udoka.
every single person,
Hold on, brother.
cheerleader.
Hold on, brother. Let me make this point. The initial reports that he was being suspended because he was having in-house relationships, and that's when people were saying that this is wrong because it's a year suspension. It's too harsh. It wasn't
Correct.
nothing about. It was nothing about like him sleeping with a woman who was married. That wasn't out there. Nobody's condoning sleeping with a married woman.
Is it consensual or is it not?
It's consensual, but
consensual.
it's still wrong. You don't sleep with a married woman.
Listen, if it's consensual, you can't touch me.
Team policy, bro. What are you talking? There's a team policy that says you cannot have relations with staff members.
Listen,
It's-
did you guys watch?
spaces.
Do you guys
In most
know
corporate spaces,
professional
if someone-
sports?
Smash that like
Come on,
button.
if someone has power in most corporate spaces, a director cannot go and smash an employee who's an intern or something like that. Power imbalance, bro. That's just the facts, man.
You can smash them, but you can't. They can't. You can't be smashing them based off power,
So
Okay.
what? Come on.
Okay.
right? You can't be using your power to smash them, but you can smash them.
So
That's not true. What?
What do you mean that's not true?
The rule said no smashing, so no smashing.
What rule?
If you
Listen
want
to
to
the press
smash,
conference.
go
The
to
man
Tinder,
said-
go
the
to
man
Bumble
said there's no
outside
rule.
of work.
Listen to the press conference. He said he ain't never seen nothing like this in this 20 years.
Team violation, bro. Violated team
In 20
policy.
years, you ain't never seen nobody wipe
That
their
has
smash?
nothing to do with the team
No,
rule.
he said that's again. I don't think it's every day you see a coach smashing the vice president's wife. Have you
20
seen
years?
it? Have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen Phil Jackson. I've seen.
No, but that was
But
out
that's
there.
different.
That was
The
out
difference-
there.
I don't know
the difference
all the
between
That was-
top
but
tier,
that's my
I've
point.
I've seen
my
people
point.
in every organization smash people's wives. Yes.
Of that power, of that status. That's what I'm saying. I said the vice president's wife again.
What
Matt
the
Barnes-
what the hell does a vice president do anyway?
Well, okay, what if he finds out? And that was exactly what happened. He found out.
bro? He's
And
Come
what
on,
is he
bro.
gonna do to what is he gonna do to him?
What does
He
a
just
vice
did it. He
president
got him
of
fired for
finance
suspended
do?
for the whole season. What you mean?
You think that's what it is?
Hey, hold up. What
So
does a
why?
vice
So why we
president
don't
of
know?
finance
So why
do?
we didn't know the wife's name? Why we didn't
We
know?
still don't know the
woman
wife's
cheating with-
name. People are making stuff up.
Exactly. You trying to hide that information, bro? If you telling me right
Why
now
would
you
you-
had a woman, you wouldn't want to try to hide that information.
Both of them in the press conference says this got nothing to do with women or females in our organization. They both said it, but y'all missed that part.
Well, no, I heard what they said. A lot of
No.
women have been unfairly raked into the
Yes.
situation.
And they
That's
said
what I
it's
heard.
unnecessary, right?
Right.
And it's bullshit. That's what he said. One said unnecessary, the other one said bullshit.
Do you
Yeah,
know
a
something?
lot of
If you
women-
know
a lot of
something,
women-
say it.
A lot of women.
No,
a lot
I
of
don't know
women were
nothing,
raped through
but
that.
I'm putting 1 and 2 together.
I don't think
Okay.
1 and 2 together equals he's gay.
Oh,
What is
I
okay.
don't
it
think
equal?
so.
Like, what is it equal? Vice president's wife.
Yo,
and
your
getting
maths
smashed?
is off, bro. Your maths is way off, bro.
I don't think that
Okay.
equals gay, bro.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
and then
What's the messiest thing that could
first
be,
off,
right?
who would be okay? So you said let's just go with
But
this.
that's the problem. You can't speculate on who the player could be. That's why you can't release.
If you make something like that, then I mean, you gotta come with something more than I think he's gay.
But I'm saying if they can't say it without saying the player's name.
But what do
Because then
you
you
think?
throw
'Cause
you
came
throw all
out
the
with
players under the
allegation.
bus.
You came out the allegation. Who do you think?
No, I mean I'm not gonna speculate on that.
You should be
I mean, that's
speculating.
endless.
Speculating
You already
by
speculated.
saying that. You
No,
just
but I'm
said
saying
it.
that's endless. That's like you got to go through the whole list.
What?
What?
You got to go through the whole list of players. You can't do that.
Man.
Bro, you
That's the
just
same
you
reason.
just you came. Appreciate you coming on the panel. You came on the panel and said that you believe that this is leading up to him that he's gay. And my question to you
Listen, no, gay is not the problem.
That
Gay,
what?
there's a lot of gay people. Gay is not the problem. The problem is coaching player.
Bro, you swerving heavy, bro. Reaching
No,
hard,
gay-
man.
if he gay, he
Reaching
gay.
hard.
Like
Hey,
that's
so you
not-
tell
I'm lost.
so you telling me they went in a press conference, they talked about the issue, and they said a staff member in the organization, right? And so you going on that and you reaching and saying it's a player? Wow,
They
that's a
didn't. They said
major
a
reach,
person.
bro.
Yes, yes.
They said a person in the organization, right? Many reports have come out and said it was a woman, multiple women.
No.
There's videos.
Listen, the same thing we just did. When they talk of fear, you automatically go to female because you don't like. When I said it, y'all was like, "What? He gay?" Like gay is everyday life now for people.
So
I'm
what
just
makes you
confused
think
as to how.
it's not a woman?
Yeah.
Because they never mention never mention gender.
What?
Huh? What?
They never mentioned gender in their press conference, and they
They
told
said
you to leave
women.
they say leave the women out of it.
They
No,
said leave
that's
the
not what they
women
said.
who have nothing to do with it out of it.
Deal with the
And that's
situation.
fair.
They said leave all the women in our organization out of it.
The women that are not involved out of it.
No, they said all of them.
No, they
didn't, bro.
All right, pull up your press. I'm saying you guys do your own research. Pull
All
up
right.
the press conference and listen
I
to
watched
what
the
they said.
conference for 30. They did not say they said the women who are not involved is unfair to them.
Facts.
No,
That's
they
what
said
they said.
every woman in our organization.
Come on, bro.
You got. I'm
Come
saying you
on,
got the
man.
press conferences all over the internet.
Did you watch
So-
it in French
Right,
or
it is.
Spanish?
Huh?
Did you watch it in French or Spanish?
All right, we'll revisit this on Tuesday when it comes out. Right?
Yo,
Hey, smash that like button. Hit that like button, everybody.
Ben came here with the alley-oop.
I'm saying. But just imagine what that does to the whole NBA.
Alley-oop off the backboard and everything, bro. Like, geez.
Okay, so are you telling me, Ben? I'm gonna ask you a serious question. So you telling me that people will not be accepting of a man who's gay in the NBA?
I don't know. A player?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Jason Collins is not in the locker room. Man.
I don't think that's the problem. Like if you put that player out there on Front Street, he takes down everybody. Takes down the coach, takes down the owner, he takes everybody out because y'all put him in a situation with especially if he wasn't gay to start.
With the player. So why would they even bring this out if it was a player, bro? They will keep this.
They
in
have
house
to bring it out. What do you mean they have? They stole walking it.
So you telling me that man has a husband? He has a partner, right? Because these are the allegations, right? That he had So that person has a husband as well, right?
And how come nobody has defended him since that press conference?
Because they know the full details.
Thing.
How come the whole NBA is silent right now?
Okay.
Because it's a private matter.
It's not an NBA issue. It's a Boston Celtics issue.
It's a private matter.
But the first day everybody was defending him, right? Stephen A, Mike Barnes, everybody.
One reason it's Sunday, and we're still in the weekend. So Monday, tomorrow, we'll see what these analysts were going to say.
But nobody said nothing yesterday. Not even one player on his team is defending him. Not one coach is defending him.
I mean,
nobody.
What are you supposed to say if you're a
Celtics heads may have said, "Don't say anything."
What are you supposed to say?
The players.
If you're a regular person that gets down with women, you say that this is unfair, like they did the first day.
So are you telling me
nobody's doing a 360 if it's just a consensual sex with man and wife?
Okay, but you just said it. Okay, you just said that it was one of the players on the team, right?
That's what yes. That's what I think.
So you're telling me that all the players, and going by your logic, that all the players on the Boston Celtics team know that this man's gay. That's why they're not defending
all the players in the NBA ain't touching it. It's not when the players but no, I don't say they all know, but they know the news now. If they told you not to comment on it, that this is some shit going down, what you gonna say?
But you jump into gay. That's my thing. You jumping straight to gay. That's the whole problem. Like just because you say don't touch it means just don't touch it. That can mean a lot of things. That doesn't mean
that's the one thing I ain't seen, and that's the one thing that will scare everybody away. Yes. I'm not scared of a coach fucking somebody's VP's wife. Like he could fuck every woman in the organization. I won't care.
Yeah,
but
that's why you don't run the NBA. That's why you don't run the NBA team, bro. That's why.
Thank God.
But could it be?
But it happens though.
Could it be though?
Not the vice president, man. What you think gonna happen if he finds out though?
What is he gonna do?
He gonna do
fire
nothing?
you? He's gonna fire you. He gonna fire the coach.
He has the power to do so.
He has the
power. He has the power to do so.
You gonna fire the coach that got you to the finals just because he smashed your wife?
Well, look what happened now. He's suspended for the whole year. You think he's gonna come back with the Boston Celtics? Do you honest to God think he's gonna come back and play for the and coach the Boston Celtics?
Listen, this man ain't finna coach nobody ever.
So what you mean?
Okay, then. So
but it's not because of a wife.
Who do you think put this information out? When you say the VP has no power, who do you think leaked this story out?
They did their investigation, right? Once you do your investigation, what do you do with the story? You think you're going to get rid of him with nobody finding out?
No. They made it public. Who do you think leaked the story out? Who do you think started the whole investigation?
I can't speculate on that.
But
somebody found out.
That's my point.
Anything come out?
That's my point.
He got caught. What do you mean?
But again, my original point, brother. This is my original point. Brad Stevens and this dude, Wick Grusbeck, they told him privately, according to reports, you need to calm down.
Okay.
So they didn't want this story out there. So I'm asking you, who is the person who started this investigation, and who's the person that leaked this story out?
So if there's only two people in a relationship, if he didn't leak it, the other person leaked it.
No, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. So who do you think that other person could be?
The player. What do you mean?
No, man. See, that just defies logic.
Why would the player have an investigation?
Exactly.
That
in a consensual relationship. Come on, bro.
Why would anybody have a? Why would?
As I said to you before, bro, it's alleged, right, that the man in the relationship had some suspicions of his wife, like any man would. So he went and got an investigator. He found out the facts and then went back to the team and said, yo, this is some wild shit. And then it has to come out. It has to go to an investigation, and then it has to come out. Shout
out to Brandon Barbie by saying the VP played a hand, either get rid of the coach or I go public. And that sounds more reasonable to me. Pretty much blackballed the team and said,
go public with what? If he goes public and said the coach smashed my wife, what happens?
All this embarrassment that's happening right now.
Embarrassment.
You messed over with my wife. I know you like this dude, but either you get rid of this coach or I go public. That sounds like a blackmail to me, and that sounds actually logical than what you're saying.
How many coaches have had sex scandals?
Not with the VP's wife, bro. Like that's what you're missing,
now.
Bro.
That's
I'm talking about the cheerleader or the something like this is the VP's wife.
Okay,
exactly.
This man don't understand because he doesn't think the vice president of finance is significant. That's why he can't understand.
He doesn't think that man doesn't have no power. He doesn't think, dude. Do you know it's literally like a stepping stone? Like you got the owner. Then after that you got the GM, right? No.
President. The president of basketball operations.
Executive.
GM, vice presidents. So this guy's like third in command, bro. Third in command, essentially.
And then you got the vice president.
So you telling me Brad Stevens is up in the press conference about to cry because Udoka smashed the vice president's wife? That's what you believe.
I don't know why he cried.
Another grown man is crying about another grown man having sex with somebody's wife.
He could.
I cried when my ex-wife told me she was messing with other people.
That's your ex-wife. You gonna cry about another man?
No, when I was still with her at the time. I'm trying to see your point. Like, if you love your wife, it's gonna hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
What you find out? Well, I'm trying to see what point you getting at by saying.
What would Brad Stevens cry about?
He could be very good friends with the vice president and know their family and understand the situation and how it affects children and all of this kind of thing.
Being good friends with somebody's wife will make you cry about them being cheated
Brad Stevens is crying because one of his players getting
my best friend.
No, he's crying because of the fallout.
My best friend literally like held me.
What is Brad Stevens jealous?
Yeah, man. I hear you,
fallout.
bro.
The fallout. I don't understand. I don't think you guys understand the fallout that comes if what I'm saying is true. What is the fallout?
Bro, it's not true. So I don't know.
Okay, what is the fallout?
Let's not go down that road.
Man, this alley you crazy. Like,
okay, but what could the fallout be? What could make somebody cry?
Hey, it would be huge, but at the same time,
and that's worth crying for, right?
In the
modern day, there's no actual crazy.
Then I got to answer.
Time out. Rick, the host got to answer a question. Go ahead,
I got to answer for you. Now, whether you receive it or not, it's on you, but I do got to answer. Let's just roll with what you're saying. Let's say that Udoka is allegedly gay and he's messing with a player and all this. At the end of the day, whether he's messing with a woman or a man, the reason why they are trying to protect whoever, whether he's gay or not, is because the Boston Celtics is a legendary organization. They are a brand. They're up there with the Lakers. So they're going to protect their name and protect their organization over anything else. So taking away if it was a husband that's mad about his wife getting smashed by a coach, or if the coach is smashing another man, at the end of the day, they are a brand. This is a business. So they're going to do everything in their power to make sure they protect the name of the Boston Celtics.
I agree with that.
Right.
Like, I agree
That's
with
why
that.
we're not hearing much. That's why they're trying to protect. They're not saying too much.
But what is the most damaging thing to the Celtic brand?
Because here's the thing. I mean, again, we can go at it in different angles and perspectives, but the main point is the Boston Celtics are going to protect their name. So at the end of the day, if you own a business, Ben, you don't want to be known as the business where if you bring your wife in, she getting smashed in the back by the sandwich bread.
Yeah, but I can handle that. I can handle that.
If you bring your husband in, he getting smashed in the back by the sandwich.
But that's worse.
You don't want to be, whether it's worse or not, at the end of the day, you don't want to have that tagged on your brand. That's why they're protecting. So, like I said,
yeah, but I get that. It's going to come out, right?
Okay. So this is why the Boston Celtics and everybody down below, Steve, all of them, Wick, all of them, are trying to protect the Celtics name. Because if you have a faulty name, and especially with the name of the Boston Celtics, like that's a legendary team. They're up there with the Lakers, like the Lakers and the Celtics. They run the NBA. So they don't want that tagged onto their name. So they will do everything in their power, whether, like I said, whether Udoka's gay, whether Udoka's messing with a wife, it don't matter what he's doing. They're going to protect them over him.
I get that. I'm not trying to protect Udoka. But listen.
No, you wanted an answer on why are they not saying anything? Why are they not really saying much? Because they're protecting their brand.
No, they will have to say something. I'm saying, what's the biggest fallout of a wife or a player?
It doesn't even matter. It's a fallout.
Why you brought up a player? We're talking about a coach.
I just gave it to you. I said we can go either way with it, whether he's gay
or
not.
Why you brought up a player? Hold on.
There's no fallout from a wife.
Why you brought up a player? What you brought up a player for?
What do you mean?
He think Udoka is messing around with one of the players.
Bro, wild theories out here. Wild theories.
Is that not the worst possible situation?
It is, but it's not the only.
But that's the worst. A wife, you could deal with the wife.
It's not even that bad. In our modern day, we accept anyone for any relationship. It's about the consensual aspect, and if it was or was not consensual, and if it was in a team where they had a partner.
A million NBA fans ain't finna accept that.
Just like you said. So you telling me, right, that smashing the VP's wife ain't a big deal, but smashing a player in the privacy and consensual relationship is worse. That's worse.
Listen, every man in this
they're both
chat right here, every man in this chat, which one would you be accepting of? Which one would you be accepting of, though?
Hey, first off, it's not about me. It ain't about me. We talking about society.
Yeah, it's about the fan, right? We're all fans.
It ain't about me. It's about a business.
It's about the fans.
If it's a homosexual thing that you're talking about, and they fired him or they suspended him for a year,
you can't fire him for that.
That's discrimination, bro.
Exactly. That's why you can't fire him.
They can't do that.
They can't even
suspend him. You can't even suspend him, bro. You can't suspend him if that's the case.
You can't. You can suspend a coach for messing with a player. You could do that.
Man, you came out and said that what else could have been Matt Barnes to be that he wouldn't touch it. That's what you said, right?
Correct.
Okay. If it could it be that because the initial reports were that he was being blackballed because of him having consensual relationship. Is that what not the initial reports were, right? That's what everybody was saying at first. Okay, so I just think again when Matt Barnes said he couldn't condone certain things, I didn't think light bulb, this player is gay, he's messing with one of the players. I thought basically he's dealing with a person he shouldn't be dealing with. It's not in a relationship with somebody in the organization. It's the fact that number one, you stepped out with another person's wife in a higher up situation. That's why I think he said he couldn't speak on that. That's where I'm going with it.
Yeah,
oh my gosh!
I think Matt Barnes is a little tougher than that. He can handle somebody's wife getting smashed. I can handle it.
He couldn't. Didn't he beat up Derek Fisher, who slept with his wife?
But he was willing to do it.
But I'm
He wasn't
saying,
he
no,
wasn't he wasn't
he's
running
against
from it.
that type of. You can't. That call him a hypocrite then, because you acted emotionally when somebody slept with your wife. That's something that I'm pretty sure that he took. He's like, okay, that's something I'm not going to take lightly.
But you saw
He
his
can't
first
take
video,
it.
right?
Huh?
You saw his first video.
Yeah, I saw it with
Where he talked about everybody's getting smashed in the league, blah blah blah.
yeah,
Okay,
people
so
who are.
he admitted that he knows everybody's doing everything in the league.
Once again, not everybody's not smashing the vice president of finance's wife, bro.
I agree.
That's crazy,
All right.
bro.
All right,
Come
so
on,
I'm
We'll
gonna read.
revisit this.
But yeah, people sleeping with other people's wives, other people's girlfriends. Most definitely that goes on, bro. These are rich brothers out here, young brothers. Of course that's happening, man. But when you talk about vice presidents, no, man, that's not happening. That is not happening. Definitely not, man.
What team do you support?
And let me tell you, a player doing that and a coach doing that is separate. They will protect the player making millions, but they will not protect a coach like that because he's meant to be a leader for young brothers out here. He's meant to be a leader. The symbol of a coach and what he's meant to be is different. And
If
so
coach
I don't
of
know what you're talking about. When you
Nah.
talk about everyone smashing everyone, Matt Barnes, he's talking about players, man. I doubt he's talking about coaches smashing other coaches' wives and stuff. That's wild. I doubt that's
Okay.
happening.
All right,
That's happening.
Ben made a statement earlier saying that women are pretty much taken out of the equation. Okay. And so I went back to the transcripts. That's what I was looking at over here at the ESPN message that I sent to you earlier, BJ. And the transcript starting at 4 minutes and 13 seconds. Of course, at 4 minutes and 10 seconds, Brad Stevens, he starts to take over. He goes and I read, yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to add from the standpoint of what Wick said. You know what can be said about the violation ultimately. I would reiterate that it was a long, thorough process. Obviously it's been I guess the transcript didn't catch what he was trying to say right there, a hard time. But I think, the only thing that I would like to say is that I thought, and then Wick mentioned it already, I thought, we have a lot of talented women in our organization. And I thought yesterday was really hard on them. And I think that, nobody can control Twitter speculation and ramping. But I do think that we as an organization have a responsibility to make sure we're there to support them, referencing the women now, because of a lot of people were dragged unfairly into that. And so that I would just add that to go from there, I know you'll probably have questions and concerns, but I think that's important to address for them, referencing the women again. So we're talking about the women.
Go skip forward to the president or whoever made the first comment. He said it's unnecessary to bring up women. It's at like the 2-minute mark.
Okay, y'all keep talking. I'll look for it.
It's unnecessary to bring up women, or do
he said that the women being dragged into this is unnecessary, right?
Oh, that what Malika Andrews said, right? Is that what Malika Andrews stated?
That's what
in the press conference.
No, he talking about the press conference. Yeah, he talking about with Wick and Brad Stevens.
I remember him saying it's irrelevant. It's he didn't want to identify.
Oh my goodness!
In the organization, he didn't want to identify them, but I don't think he said that it's not any women.
They think got the best.
You really think they're gonna cover up all these whole details and not want to give any details, but then state that it has nothing to do with any women? That kind of goes against everything that the whole point of the press conference was, to cover that shit up.
They weren't
not
saying
give any
they
details.
weren't saying nothing. They weren't saying anything, bro, because it was still fresh.
Yep.
No, they weren't saying anything because it's legal.
And it was a lot of in that part too. So it's like they were covering their own ass, man. That's what we're getting at. It wasn't.
Yes, I agree. They are covering their ass. But it's
that's common in corporate America. That's common.
Yeah, but like he said, the Celtic brand is big. Like they big right next to the Lakers. Like I don't think a scandal with a coach and a VP's wife is going to put any kind of dent in that organization.
Bro,
that's a massive organization.
How business works, bro. Sponsorships, money, all that depends on the image of an organization, man.
They're not going to get dented by a coach smashing a wife.
Hey,
all right, I got
come on.
I'm gonna see if y'all can hear this. So I'm gonna start it from a certain standpoint, and this is Wick talking right now. So I'm gonna see if y'all can hear this.
share freely, but in this case, I really have to refer to the notes and stay within the bounds. And I have to break it to you that if you had the notes in front of you, you wouldn't learn all that much. So it's sort of that type of press conference. I'm sorry for that. It's privacy reasons for the people involved is the concern. I can say a few things, and I have a few bullet points to add, and then Brad will have some words. I can say that as soon as we learned there was a potential situation, we immediately brought in a respected law firm to conduct a thorough investigation and impartial investigation. And they took some time, and we actually concluded that investigation with a report 2 days ago. So that's the reason for the timing here. There were leaks, by the way, around that time. Obviously, we would have nothing to do with that and nothing to gain from that. And any insinuation about the leaks, we don't know where they come from. They're part of the NBA, as we all know in this room. But it's really unfortunate. And it's unfortunate also that female staff members of the Celtics have been dragged into the public eye unwillingly and inappropriately. And we take a strong stand against that and just regret it for them. It's really, really unfortunate and not necessary. I won't be referring to anybody else who might be involved here, again, for privacy reasons, and not going to get into the details of the conduct at issue. But I have just a couple more closing little remarks. Ime has personally told me in a private conversation, just the general theme was, I'd say, acceptance and appreciation for how this has been handled. He can speak for himself on that, and in his release last night, he did speak to that, that he accepted this suspension. Brad and I have both met with the players. Brad can fill you in more on that, but I would say in general, they are very concerned about this. It's not a welcome development, but they also, I felt, have energy and focus and commitment and drive to really accomplish great things, hopefully this season. So that's the commitment I'm feeling from the players, and that based on last year and based on everything we know about them, I think that commitment will be fulfilled. The suspension is for a season through June 30th, and we will make a determination at a later time about Ime's future with us, and that'll be discussed another time and has not been decided at this point. I am concerned about the situation and its impact on everybody in the Celtics organization. And I do hope this represents the beginning of a new chapter and a chance to turn the page and move forward with things to some extent resolved. And I'm personally very confident in the people we have here, starting with my partner and head of basketball, Brad Stevens, and everybody on the staff and the roster and the training staff and the front office and in the business office of the Celtics. We're going to stand together as a family, and we're going to move forward. And I'll turn it to Brad Stevens.
All right. So y'all just heard.
You see how he doubled down on that unnecessary at the end.
Time out.
I don't think he doubled down on the unnecessary.
He didn't double down.
Hold on,
Oh
Ben. He said first.
He said other adjectives too, Ben.
Ben, you said first off, you said all women. What he said was the women who's been dragged.
No,
in the
he said the women in our organization.
Yeah, the women in his organization has been dragged. You said all women as if all women are excluded. He said the women who's been involved, which they have been women who've been falsely identified as the women who was sleeping with Ime Udoka. He didn't say all women. He said the women that's been falsely accused.
No, he said the women in the organization.
The women in the organization who's been falsely accused.
No, he didn't, man. He just played the tape. That's why
you ain't listening, bro. You ain't listening.
Missing stuff.
You ain't listening, bro. What are you talking about, bro? Everyone heard what he said except you, bro.
Play exactly what he just said.
We don't need to hear it again, bro.
Right,
you kidding me?
You right.
Man? Come on.
You right. Y'all right.
Ben. Okay. I'm a peacemaker, man. Like I said, you can look at what he's saying, because it's one thing that D.L. Hughley said one time as a comedian, right? He said, and he still is. So he literally says, I don't care what I say to people. He goes, because how you receive it is on you. So if you're taking it that when he said it's not necessary, and you're referencing the women part when he was speaking, and your mind jumps to, well, he must be talking about a man. then that's just how you take it, right? Because again, all this is alleged. But I clearly just said, regardless if it's a man involved, if it's a VP's wife involved, at the end of the day, if you listen to the whole message, especially towards the end, what did he say? He said, he literally named out every aspect of the Boston Celtics organization. He said the accounting, the mark, like he naming different aspects of it, meaning what? The brand and the name. That's what's important to them. So at the end of the day, we can go with your hypothetical, and let's say it is a man. I'm just going to go with you. Let's say it is. All they care about is that they don't want nothing tagged on them to bring that brand down. But he was, if anything, if he was backstepping on anything, he wants to make sure that the women who do work for the Celtic staff still feel comfortable working there, because he wants them to have a family feel.
Exactly.
Correct.
And
I agree.
And also, and this is a stab, man. Another reason why I don't believe this, Ime Udoka's gay situation. Me being around Nigerian people and
I'm
their
Nigerian.
culture, something that they don't really find really welcoming is homosexuality.
Correct.
So I don't buy the whole. It makes more sense to me the women's side, as far as having multiple women around that he shouldn't have really been messing with, and the Boston Celtics trying to hold on and clean that up. This is unacceptable. This is not professional. You're a leader of men. You're a leader of this team, rather than him sleeping with a player on it. I just don't see that, man.
Okay, I can respect that.
But
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
We got about 5 minutes left on the show. It's gonna hit the 2-hour mark. Does anybody else have anything they want to add on to their situation to get a chance to speak?
If Udoka was sleeping with a player, he would have been fired. No suspension, in my opinion. He should be fired like immediately. So why they give him 1 year? So
that's a rumor though. Whatever, man. Yeah.
So if he was sleeping with a player, so is he gonna come back to coach the same player?
No, he's never coming back. But how do you stop the player's name from getting out?
That's not true. What the fuck?
You can't.
Exactly.
It would eventually come out. So by your theory, this shit would have already burst out, bro. You telling me they
so
that
exactly what they did to the females. What would they do to every player on that team if they mentioned it too early?
That's why they would have to come out with the facts if that was the case.
Exactly.
They would have to come out with the facts, but they don't have to come out with the facts in this regard because it's the vice president of finance's wife, man. There's a big difference. And so they got to protect his interest too, because you understand a powerful man gets hurt by this story as well. That's the point too. It ain't just her. It ain't just Udoka. It's the man who's a vice president of finance. He also gets affected by such issues. And so he needs to be protected, and his image and his ego needs to be protected. And so the organization, I feel, is got his back. That's my perception anyways.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Pull Up Podcast.
Hey, shout out to you, Young Africa, with that comment. And that's what I think it is, bro. I think they genuinely like this man. I think they share a bond with this person. I think that Brad Stevens has a close relationship with him. And I think they don't really want to get rid of him. They could have easily just pulled the trigger and fired him if they wanted to fire him. But the suspension, I think, was, you know what, we're going to hold off. We're going to try to figure this out. If we can come to some type of resolution, perfect. Because we really don't want to let go of our head coach. Why would I want a guy who's gay, or if I'm not that like that, why would I want him around? And this ain't no shot at people who are homosexual. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the business I have, the organization I have, I cannot allow that. Why would I keep him around with a suspension? Why would I just fire him?
Because you can't.
What you mean you can't?
You can't fire him for having a consensual gay relationship.
You can do whatever you want to do if it's your organization.
Right. And what would be the backlash if you fire him for that?
No, they wouldn't have said it. Wouldn't have. First of all, you don't have to give a reason to fire somebody.
You fired a coach that just took you to finals, and you're not gonna give a reason?
No, you don't have to give a reason. They didn't give a reason. They haven't given a reason for the suspension, did they?
They
All I said,
waiting. It's going to come out.
It's going to come out. But what I'm saying is they're the ones that cut the check. They're the ones who are in charge.
The coach,
like he said, they're protecting the brand. Their main job is to protect the Celtics.
the coach can be gay. It's just like it's unprofessional to be having a romantic or, you know, sleeping relationship with a player.
But
So
fans
the coach can be gay.
don't care about that. Fans don't want to hear that.
The fans are the fans are homophobic.
This is about money, bro. This is not about the fans.
Billions of dollars at stake. There's millions of fans that are homophobic. Yes.
It ain't you really think they come on, bro? That these are major reaches, bro.
He just said, what are they trying to protect? They're not trying. They're trying to protect the brand.
The brand of the Boston Celtics, just like
and
the
that's
brother
billions
explained
of
it pretty
dollars
well.
at stake if fans lose interest because of homophobia.
Okay, but Ben, this is why I said that. This is why this is.
That's
you're saying
crazy,
that. You're saying that you do. Do you think that Stevens and this guy Goosebig wanted this to get out? I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think these two want this to get out?
There's no after they did the report. There's no way to keep it in house.
No, I'm talking about initially. They initially they didn't want this out. Do you think at any point they want this to get out? At any point? Okay, that's my question. Now, it did get out.
Okay.
You talk about the CEO and the general manager of the team. Who else would be that powerful enough, strong enough to get something like that out to the public and leak this out?
Like he said, he didn't leak it. He said it serves them no interest to leak it.
They didn't leak it, but somebody in the organization obviously did.
Somebody else knew.
Somebody obviously, a very powerful person. You set up an investigation. Who did the investigation?
Yep. Who would know about the investigation? Board members,
somebody talked.
Directors,
I don't get what you guys are asking.
Board members.
Okay.
Come on, bro.
We're gonna see.
So somebody talked. You mean somebody talked? Okay, somebody talked and leaked it. What are you talking about? But their job is to protect the brand.
Disney is hiring, man. You have good imagination.
No, he just said if you're trying to protect the brand right now, what do? You
Bro, I just asked you a question. I said,
what's the question?
Who set the They said that they put an investigation out there. Who made the complaint? Who's the person who had a problem with this consensual relationship?
Whoever found out.
No, see that
oh my gosh!
If you see something sketchy, all you got to do is say something sketchy over there.
The vice president. This is what I'm saying. This was my soliloquy. The vice president found out his wife was having an affair. To be sure, just like the show Cheaters. Y'all seen the show Cheaters, right? Y'all seen the show Cheaters? What does the husband do when they feel like their wife or their significant other, their girlfriend, are cheating on them? What do they do? They hire
somebody,
an investigator, right?
Yep.
Put two and two together. That's who called this investigation out to see what's going on.
Obviously, because the two people in a consensual relationship are obviously not going to call an investigation upon themselves. Let's use our logic and assume that
unless one person wants out. But keep going.
Yeah. We could go on. There's an infinite amount of tangents, bro. We could do that all day.
Exactly, there is. But if you watch that press conference, what would have two men terrified like that up there on stage?
Bruce, you right.
Hey, shout out to Bradley Spalding. He said, I heard the husband overheard the wife's convo on the doorbell audio. I'm telling you, this dude caught. I'm not gonna even go there. I'm gonna leave that to the next stream. But
y'all gonna do another one on when the story drops?
Oh my god.
Well,
regardless what it is, if it's the wife, it's gonna come out on Tuesday. If it's something else, it's gonna come out.
but look, man. I literally gave you some bread as well. I said, let's go with what you're saying. At the end of the day, mess with a staffer. That's under their business model. You don't do that. So it was a staffer. It wasn't a player. They keep saying staffer. So my first thought is gonna be the VP's wife. It ain't gonna be a basketball player, but you take it as it's a basketball player. Okay. So let's run with a basketball player. We live in a day and age where being gay is okay. I don't think nobody will have a problem with that.
Except in sports, but keep going.
So we live in a day and age. And then Whether it was you were talking so long about it, I just had to tune out a little bit. But whether it was Stevens or if it was Rec or whatever his name is, at the end of the day, they said that their business model is relative to most corporations, right? Because it's a business, meaning that no, you can't fire nobody who's gay, you can't fire nobody who's a certain age, you can't fire, as long as they can perform the job and they got the job, you can keep the job. Right. So that means what? We have to go off based off what is known by the investigation. He is being suspended because he messed with a staffer. Right. He messed with his fraternization. So in this sequence of the different information that we hear over the airways and stuff that we read about, when you connect a married partner, and BJ already pulled up the evidence earlier in the show. I think he came a little bit later, but early in the show, the only married staffers that are higher up are the Lynches. Okay. So that's how we landed on Kathleen. And then I think her name was Miss Jerry Lee. She actually got some information from us and said it was Patrick. It was Patrick Lynch or whatever his first name is. And then Patrick, we were like, oh, we already got the other name, which is Kathleen Lynch. So that's why we're looking at those names. Now, it's alleged, but when you kind of add it up, it kind of falls on the Lynches. But we gonna see on Tuesday. But regardless, if it's Miss Lynch or if it's Mr. Lynch, in your case, right, a player, regardless of the situation, the Celtics do not want that type of mess on their name. So of course they're going to try to protect who they need to protect. What's his name? Ime, how you say it? Ime
Udoka.
Yeah, Ime. I'm gonna say Ime. It's easier for me. Ime. At the end of the day, the brother just got there, so it's easy to kick the new person off, even though he did a credible job. You did it to yourself. It's easy to let him go and to stop all the confusion because, like Bruce was saying, if I was on the staff, I'm not gonna be feeling too well if this brother like messing with people's wives and it was my wife he was messing with. It's just not gonna sit easy.
Right. And that's all, and that's pretty much it, man. Like, we gonna see what happens. We won't cover another stream unless until the actual evidence for the person revealed, then we'll cover it. But I think we've already done 2 streams on this one. It's all speculation until somebody actually comes out and say something. But it's all good talk, man. We definitely appreciate people coming in. Young Africa, of course. Ben with his
hey, alley-oop, that man threw it to Blake back on the Clippers.
Yes, sir. If what I say is true, I want that podcast named alley-hoop.
Hey, yeah. Bruce, of course, regular, my man Bruce, Dallas Sports versus Bubba. Anything else, something I want to say before you go and close the stream down?
I mean, I never thought I was gonna go to bed tonight thinking about Udoka is after Frank or Patrick. Okay.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, Ben.
That's some mind-blowing stuff,
man.
though.
Look,
But
Ben had me reading transcripts.
Exactly. One last thing. If y'all say it is the vice president's wife, do y'all think that press conference was worth what y'all alleging?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's major, bro. That's major.
All right.
But shout out to the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, like, subscribe. It's all love. I hope you blow up and keep the realness out here, man. When it comes to the season, it's going to be an amazing season. I feel bad for the Celtics, but we'll see how it shakes out, man. But all love to you, BJ, man. Salute.
You're in Africa. You like saying pull up. I hope you saying that. You're doing that too. So, all right.
Bruce, you're a funny guy, Bruce.
Bruce like young Africa, man.
Yeah.
It's all love, Bruce. It's all love, man.
I mean, no LeBron tonight. Whew, thank God.
Oh, you didn't say LeBron one time.
Oh, it's gonna come, man. Hey, we're gonna have a lot of conversations when he's the greatest scorer all time. Oh, we got a lot of conversations this season.
We're gonna say that one for another podcast.
Okay, man. Yep, all love, bro.
Oh man. All right, man. Oh, so we got 129 people that came in, man. Good conversation, bro.
Good conversation.
Anything else you want to say, man? What you think about tonight?
When Ben came through with the alley-oop, I was done. Bruce called it out. Bruce is like, Rick looked done. That brother Ben had me read transcripts, listen to the videos. I said, man, hold on. Let me see if my ears still work. Let me make sure. I said I spent about 10 hours on this, just really going through stuff and put stuff on my notepad. Like I said, I wouldn't have missed that. That would have been the biggest thing I talked about.
Man, Ben had me. I was like, what? Because when he said it, I was like, what's this going? Like you said, oh, worst person you can have a relationship with. He said like and then Bruce said if it's a man push the woman.
We were saying everything but another man. We were saying everything.
Yeah, man. I'm like,
hey,
all right, man. Shout out to Mrs. Davis, man, for saying thank you for the video and good content as always, man. Like we said, continue to like the page, like the podcast, like subscribe, get our updated content, updated videos. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, subscribe our content, man. Rick, give him a social media. We'll get out of here.
Hey, man, y'all already know who it is. It's your co-host that does it the most, man. It's your boy Rick Masters. Rick Masters at Rick Masters 23 or Mr. Lee on every other social media platform, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Hey, y'all already know what the deal is. The Pull Up Basketball Podcast shirts, man. Hey, you got BJ right there. You got me over there. Hey, man, hit us up. B Jizzle at the bottom on the ticker. Cash app them if you love the content so we can keep it coming for y'all. $ BJ Matthews. Hey, we on that podcast, man. You already know because y'all in here. We on that YouTube. We on that Spotify, man. We on that iTunes, man. We on Apple. We everywhere, man. So y'all keep being loyal. We love and appreciate the conversation. We're very humble people. When I say we love you, we sincerely mean that. BJ, back to you.
My man said, continue to follow the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. You know what I'm saying? In the ticker as well. Hit that like button. And we will definitely see y'all next time. Until then, we respectfully say, pull up the seat, pull up the chair, pull up. Peace. Out of here like swim. Wow.